Hey everyone, so today I want to talk about the Channel 4 programme 15 Stone Babies. Now I'll be honest, I wasn't going to watch this, it's not something I had any interest in, but then Facebook and Twitter started going crazy with, how shocking this show was. So I thought I'm going to watch it, and having watched it, I can say it is shocking, but in a very wonderful way. I have a lot of love and praise for this programme, and I'll talk you through why this is. But for those of you who haven't seen it, 15 Stone Babies looks at the world of adult babies. And as far as I can tell, the point behind this is not just to say how, I don't use the word peculiar, but how, well, as I said, people were shocked by it. It's not just to highlight that, but I think it's also to clear things up as well. Because repeatedly it was mentioned that, if you're an adult baby, it's got nothing to do with children. People will assume adult baby paedophilia. There are no connections. Oh, well, I say no, there may be one on an odd occasion, but that's not the point. And we learn that when you're an adult baby, and we learn that a lot of it is not done through choice. I think that's one of the major misconceptions with this, is that if you're an adult baby, people think it's your decision. You sit down and go, right, I'm a fully grown 30-odd-year-old adult and I'm going to wear a nappy. We learn that that's not how it is. It is one of those things where it's not necessarily a decision that's being made consciously, but just the way life has turned out. And I think that's very fascinating. I have to say, I didn't know that much about the world of adult babies before watching this. It's something I'd heard of. I wasn't completely kind of ignorant of it. But in watching this, I have been completely blown away at how wide it is, to be honest. I thought, one in a million people will be an adult baby. But there's actually quite a lot of people, and there's adult baby forums and things, which I thought was kind of amusing, because, the adult babies will use the forums and the internet to, But I thought that was kind of entertaining. But it's really quite a fascinating programme, and I just cannot fault it at all. In terms of uniqueness, I think it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, credit to Channel 4. Channel 4 have a lot of documentaries and series and things like that, where they look at concepts or certain categories of people, if I can use that word, categories, not people, if I can, you know what I mean, where they kind of highlight things that other programs or other channels are too scared to do, and Channel 4 have done this absolutely fantastically. Obviously there is a risk that they could have done this really tastelessly, but I think they've handled it very, very well. I don't think anybody would have been offended by this. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, if you were watching it and you were offended, but I think that they portrayed adult babies in such a wonderful, wonderful light that basically just said they're just people as well, but they have something that makes them different, just like we all do, or most of us do. I know some people who are a bit too normal for good. But it does just say, adult babies are just adults like the rest of us, but they just have something that they enjoy doing that is not, as of yet, considered socially acceptable. And Channel 4 have really got quite a strong message going out there. As an audience member, it's quite fascinating to watch. I think the main thing with this, though, is that it's educational. You'll either sit down to watch a programme for the entertainment factor or for the educational factor. With this, you have kind of the shock, but not like disgust and repelling shock, but just like fascination and curiosity. And it is educational and it is informative, but it's done in such a way that it's not like it's not just a lesson, but it's an entertaining educational format, which is bizarre. And you go through this massive emotional roller coaster where you're assessing your own thoughts and your own life and balancing it against what's being said, and it really does make you think, and it also makes you think just how much as a society we, and I'm using the royal we here, judge other people before we get to know them, not just, adult babies. And I know for a fact that if any of us saw a fully grown person walking down the street dressed as a baby, now a lot of them in here do this behind closed doors, but if we saw a fully grown adult dressed as a baby walking down the street or being pushed down the street, we wouldn't think that that's normal, because that's the way that we are trained. I think it's disgusting, but we can't help it. And it really starts to push the boundaries a bit and make us think, why should we be considering this not normal? And I think that's fantastic. It is uncomfortable at times to watch, not necessarily because of what's on screen, but because you are thinking, my goodness, do we really judge people that much? Should we really be judging people? So it is kind of uncomfortable to watch because it makes you assess society, basically. Now I will be honest, there was one thing which was said which made me go, because there's this whole world of nurseries for adult babies, which I thought was really fascinating and really quite fantastic and a very interesting big business venture. But they said something, and some nurseries offer sexual services. And it makes sense when they explain it, but I just kind of thought, excuse me? So it was kind of odd. But then one person did say the exact words, I didn't ask to be an adult baby. kind of touches on the whole thing. It's not just a conscious decision, it's just life as they know it. And I think that, again, is another important message with this. It's a very inviting program. You're not watching it thinking I shouldn't be watching this. This isn't for me. I'm not the target audience. It draws you in. It sucks you in. It completely hooks you in, start to finish, glued to the screen. Wonderful messages. Wonderful, entertaining in all the right ways, but shocking in all the right ways, and educational. I really cannot fault this. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out on 4OD. I think it might be on YouTube as well, on 4OD YouTube. But let me know your thoughts as if for just now. So I'll see you all next time. Bye.